Okay, so 20 years after the initial attack of the aliens, who are now, according to this film right here, are known as harvesters, we have their long awaited return to Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the review for Independence Day Resurgence, the highly anticipated sequel to Independence Day the First. And after now watching this movie two times, it's meh. It's okay. Uh, it's not as bad as everybody wants to pretend it is. I mean, it ain't great. And as a follow-up to a highly successful movie, this is a letdown. Uh, this movie has a couple of highlights for me. Big one, a good portion of the original cast returns. You know, Bill Pullman returns as Whitmore, and I like what they did with his character. Judd Hirsch and Jeff Goldblum return as David and his father, and Will Smith does not return because his character gets killed off. And he just killed him off in the lamest ways. Like he died during like a test run. It's like so stupid. And of course, we have new characters. You know who. We have Whitmore's daughter, and we have Will Smith's character's son, Dylan, who are all grown up, and they're now following in their respective fathers' footsteps and becoming army pilots and stuff like that. And they're all grown up. And we also have Liam Hemsworth, who plays the fiance to Whitmore's daughter. I gotta say this: the new characters, and they're pretty generic. They're kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie; they're kind of not memorable at all. You could have they had this interesting thing going on where like Dylan and Liam Hemsworth's character have a rivalry going on, but to me, I don't know. To me, it wasn't really fully expanded upon, which is kind of a letdown because it could have gave it some intrigue. I mean, like they went into it, but they didn't fully go into it. I don't know. It's just weird. Like this movie's just so like blah, so generic. Not only that, it's got so many goddamn moving parts. It's ridiculous. Because this movie also is setting up a third movie, and it's like, oh god, so many plot points being thrown at you all at once. But we'll get to let's get some positives. Like I said, oh, I forgot to mention, Fred Spiner returns as Dr. Oaken. Apparently, he was in a 20-year coma when it was clear as day that he was dead in the first Independence Day. But whatever, I'll bite. Of course, we also find out he's gay. Whatever, it's cool. Doesn't really factor into the plot at all, which is which is fine. I don't need to see. I don't really need to watch a movie about the army getting all butthurt that the scientist is gay or some shit like that. Like it's a character trait. It is what it is. Go with it. So it's okay. None of that. They don't make it gratuitous or anything like that, which I appreciate because I don't need to see that crap in my mainstream movies. So I'm okay with that. And Fred Spiner as Oaken, he has his moments where he's funny. He has his moments where it's like, okay, dial it down a little bit, guy. So yeah, he's okay overall. Like I said, Bill Pullman to me is a more interesting character because he, Yukon, and this other character who's like a warlord are like psychically linked, I guess, to the aliens because they keep having like these spasms and like these flashes and like kind of like makes them. But I think Whitmore has it the most, and I just like seeing how his characters just had a fall from grace. Like he hasn't fully recovered after that alien attack. It's broken him nearly mentally. His daughter's taking care of him. He can barely walk. So I like all that, and I also like his redemption at the end, where like he makes the sacrifice play, a la Randy Quaid from the first movie. Like that's another thing. Another problem I got with this movie. It's mostly recycled the first movie, especially the last half of this movie, which is just an overblown, over-the-top action sequence where everything's getting blown up and shit like that. Visual eye candy, fun to watch, but it's overblown. That's the one thing I'll give this movie credit for. Its special effects and its action set pieces are well done. Like I said, Roland Emmerich is really good at directing like these disaster action movies, and I've also stated that he's really good at combining practical effects, miniatures, and CGI, and it's no different in this movie. He does a really good job of blending all those blending all those together in a believable way. So with that, the guy gets a lot of criticism, but from a technical standpoint, you got to give the devil his due. He's very good at doing something like that. Of course, the screenplay for this movie is a mess. The stories could use another rewrite, kind of broken. The newer focus characters are generic, while the older characters are always fun to see. You know, it's always fun to see Jeff Goldblum. He's now working with the government, and of course he does his own thing. And you got, you know, Judd Hirsch's character. He wrote a book about how he saved the world with the whole catch a cold thing. So yeah, I don't really have a lot to say for this movie because it's, you know, just, like I said, just a by the numbers action movie. It doesn't really add anything to the Independence Day mythos. If anything, this movie could have been a whole lot better. At the same time, it could have been a whole lot worse for what you got. So, you know, end of the day, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. You know, even though the new cast members, their characters are kind of non-existent, the acting as a whole is done well. You know, all the actors do a good job in that department. The action sequences, like I said, are really well shot, well directed. Roland Emmerich, I think, is a very underrated action director because he is fairly talented at that sort of thing. But again, convoluted plot. It's really just a setup movie for a third movie. You can clearly tell that it was written as such, and in doing so, it really, like I said, it really convolutes the plot because this movie should have been done more standalone and not as like a sequel bait. And that's another reason why I give it a 6.5. Well, you know, that's my lackadaisical review of Independence Day Resurgence. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you again next time.